You are on now. How you doing today?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. And what is your name?
DZ,
DZ.
Diana Dionkov.
All right. All right. And yeah. So tell me a little about your experience in Hollywood and how long you've been here. Give some context about yourself before we start.
Um, I've been here since early 70s.
Mm.
So I wasn't born here, but I was raised here like most folks.
Mm-hmm.
And started off over there in Arlington and like Santa Barbara, which is now MLK. That's where most immigrants land. They don't know where they land in. They just land, and then they see what's up, and then they, try to upwardly, move up. And then went to West Hollywood for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
In my younger, like up to about age 12, and then pretty much after that, 15 on, stayed in Hollywood and went to Fairfax High, go Lions.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I'm in Glendale, but it's been quite a journey.
Mm-hmm. Now, considering you've been here for a while, that means you've also got to see the change in how people behave. So how would you describe that in particular?
Probably people are more guarded. When I was in the 70s playing in the streets, till the lights came on, and you didn't have to worry so much about where you were, who you were associating with. I was maybe too young. I wasn't into that gang thing, but they were. I remember, when I was in middle school, getting in a couple scraps, like with the Chola, when they had the 15 bangles here and there, and the thing that came over. But went to elementary school, and I went to several because Mom moved around a little bit, and then went to Emerson Junior High over near Westwood, by the Mormon Tabernacle, Mormon something over there, and then I went to Fairfax all 3 years. And but people are the homelessness situation looked different, the political landscape was different. There was no PC. If you were a bum, you were a bum. It's not, unsheltered. It is what it is. Drugs have always been around, right? Since caveman days, probably. But it's just gotten more accessible, or there's more.
It's more glorified.
Reasons. I don't. That's the music too.
It's a cool thing
the
now,
music.
yeah.
Sex, drugs, and rock and roll is always forever. So, rap might have had something to do with it. Everybody wants to look cool. They want to bite off of the rap. A lot of folks like the black culture as far as looking good and how it looks and the swag, but they don't really understand the struggle. So there's a night and a day. There's two things with it. And earning a living, no, this is the place to be if you want to earn a living. I tell my friends in Morocco, man, you're a truck operator. If you came over here, you wouldn't have to worry about anything. I mean, you could be a long distance intrastate truck operator and you'd be set. But, over there, it's a little bit different, the kingdom. But no, I was, pretty raised here. So this is my home. I get homesick whenever I travel. So I even though it's, sometimes it's not attractive, but that's everywhere. And it seems to be really in the bigger cities, but I wouldn't know what to do if I moved to a small city. I'd probably go stir crazy. I like the variety of food and people and the diversity. And, California is a microcosm of actually, I think, United States, because there's only one United States. There's no other. Everyone else is like, we're all Greek here. We're all African here. We're all this here. So, but in America, it's not that. So it's a beautiful place to be.
100%. And earlier you mentioned about how a lot of people come here and Hollywood chews them up and spits them out. And you were referring to the drugs and things of that nature, just in general,
They come from small towns, a couple thousand in their city, and they want to, the big dream, make it over here, modeling, acting, such things like that. And they're really wholesome people. And it's really sad to see that they get linked up with the wrong, because they don't know any better. I'm from here, so I know what the pitfalls and what to look for and what not to look. But they don't. They come from Idaho and Iowa and real wholesome places and corn, and we got fields and hay rides. And no, you got to step that up when you come to New York or San Francisco or LA, Chicago, Detroit. So Yeah, I've worked with several people who just got lost. That's what it is, because they didn't have family or support system here. Now, if you, like yourself, you have a support system here, so you're not going to get lost, and you're a little more mature and not so, just a little more worldly, and just kind of sometimes being ethnic. I'm talking about, these were lily white people that just got swallowed up, and within a year, I mean, really rapidly went downhill. And their family said, it's not looking good. You need to come back home. That's many times I've seen that happen. Yeah.
Yeah, no, here I feel like there's so many, for one, distractions, and just places and people who are willing to completely deter whatever path you were on, and they won't think twice about it. You know what I mean? And, just like you said, the pitfalls and all that stuff. So
I don't know how they lose their, not morals. I'm not saying they're out there hustling and pimping, but that happens too. I mean, I worked with a guy named Ben. Wow, and he was a young cat, Caucasian guy. It doesn't really matter, But he was skinny as a rail because he didn't have any peeps here. And this is when I was working at Abercrombie and Fitch on Wilshire and Reeves, and I was working in shipping and receiving, and that's no longer there. And Abercrombie and Fitch did a turnaround. Now it's like clothing and stuff. Before it was like a Hemmicker Schlemmer, like little gadgets and things like that. And this kid Ben was, he was skinny as a rail because he just paychecks was paycheck to paycheck, but he just like had no money, and I don't know what the deal was, but he was really struggling. The struggle was real with these people. You didn't really see back in my day, late 70s, early 80s. I didn't see overweight homeless people. So I know it's from the high carbs. It was cheap back then, but now you get a Happy Meal. It's not too happy. It's really expensive. Everything's just gotten, like I said to you before. Grandma said, "Hey, soda pop used to be a nickel or 25 cents or a dime." And I remember riding the RTD, which is Rapid Transit District bus, which is now Metro. It was called RTD. We had a nickname, Robert T. Davis. And those buses, window opened, had the wind come in. And I remember when I went to Fairfax High, you get a little bus card, and you only had to pay 25 cents, and you had a monthly bus pass. And what did that bus pass cost? Maybe $10, $20 a month, and you just had to put a quarter in and you showed your pass. Now it's, I don't know what it is. Passes are probably $60 a month now.
Yeah.
So everything goes up. You just have to prepare. It's hard to prepare for something you don't know about if you're coming from a small city. So I think it's maybe difficult coming from a small town to a larger scale than it is from the high energy of more power, more energy, more energy. That's this new trend, easier to go from a metropolitan than to a smaller. I think you could definitely downshift.
And you're talking about struggle. How would you describe or compare how people abroad, let's say Morocco, people there deal with struggle, character-wise? Like how would you observe just their mannerisms? How do they go through their day-to-day life? And because here, when people are in a struggled state, they tend to have rage built up and tension, and they may lash out at family members or just create a pattern of thought that's negative. How do people abroad, are they more positive while they're in the struggle? How would you describe that?
They are more positive because they have God in their life. They have Allah. So they don't believe in Jesus, but they have the merciful God, Allah, Alhamdulillah. And that's how they do it. Religion and family. Sometimes they have family and all their family's poor and family can't help. But one way or another, it's faith that gets them through it. It's really faith. And it's, it's funny. It's like the more poor you are, the more faith you have. It seems the more you have money and resources and means and ways, you're not so much, you kind of lost your way with God. And, that's why, like Catholicism, sure, there's rich Catholics and poor, but you got a lot of the poor, more poor people on earth than rich. And they really, they believe in the higher, whatever they believe in.
And just to piggyback off of that, the owner of this channel named Tony, he once said too, if you want to know someone's true nature, just give them a lump sum of money and see how it's like a reflection of their character. And oftentimes people who get a lot of money, they don't keep that the faith that you're talking about, it just shows their true character, and a lot of times it turns out to be negative. So
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I 100% agree with you in regards to faith and how they're very disciplined in their prayers. They pray like 5 times a day. That's and stuff exactly like that.
Right. Yeah. I hear the call to prayer, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
I'm not Muslim, I'm Christian, Lutheran evangelist, but I respect, we both have that, we both believe in God.
Yes.
And the call to prayer is very beautiful, and yeah, I hear that 5 times a day, and you kind of get used to that sound, and it's very melodic. And but the struggles, I don't have a lot of money, but I think God put me on this planet to help where I can. I've helped many people. My mom thinks I'm gullible or naive, but it's my life, and but I've lived and learned on, there's a saying, people who need help always need help. But I'm to believe that I can see that if I help once, twice, but I'm like, that's a pattern, then yeah, that you fit that pattern. You always need help. You can't seem to stand on your own feet as an adult and get out of it. But Morocco, the wages are low, the cost of living is low, so my dollar as an American went really far over there. And so I helped out that family greatly. And did before I got there, helped them out. I didn't want to eat all their food and take all the, they hosted me and they were very nice. And then leaving, they had some struggles, and I said, okay, this is probably going to be it, because I need to, when you help people, you have to let them know you need a boundary, that I can't give you because then I'm without, and if I'm without, then how can I help you?
Yeah, exactly.
So they understand, and I call her Okti, it's sister in Darija, and so just sometimes it's good to know that you have a friend somewhere else in the other part of the world. Had a terrible earthquake, 6.8, a lot of deaths. Thank God my friends over there are okay. But I check up on them, and I just missed that bad earthquake. Thank God. And but if you have faith, and I do, and even though I'm not rich, I give what I can, and I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of people that know me and my humanitarian efforts just with me, and I don't have to
shout it out.
No, I don't. There's many people who know who I've helped them. Some people went back on drugs. I can't help you no more. You got to help yourself. God helps those that help themselves. And I don't know why I do it. I really don't. I've lost a lot of money, like helping people right out of prison stay with me. I knew them through this or that, and it happened twice, and it didn't work out well. So to me, that's what it is. Yeah. So that will never happen again.
100%. And just a sidebar, because I know people on this channel and people who pay attention to the content, they like nuances and they like learning new things. Can you tell everybody a little bit about how to tell if someone has Native American ties?
Yeah. I learned this from a co-worker in security at the Nika Hotel. His name was Harold Gray. And the Nika was over there near Fatburger on, I think Tupac mentioned it in the song, where La Cienega and San Vicente cross.
Okay.
And there was a nice steakhouse called Arnie Morton's there too. So I worked security there, early 90s, right? And this guy had beautiful orange eyes, and he was a Marine veteran, and he was telling me how he was a sharpshooter. He was telling me how something with the eyes, if they don't recognize your eyes, because people can change their face, features, hair, but the eyes never change. And so something, he was telling me how he could shoot like a half a silver dollar from how many yards away. And I'm like, wow, you're pretty good with that, know. And then, but he was telling me also, that's when I learned from Harold Gray that orange eyes. He was saying he has Native American in him, and he had, orange brother, orange. And I noticed with your eyes from straight on now, there's a very slight tint. Mine are darker. I have what am I saying? I have no Native American in me. But when I saw the sun hit your eye in a certain way, I could really see the orange in your eye. And I make it a point on a couple of things, also with zodiac signs, because I believe in that. But I asked you, do you have any Native American? I'm not going to assume it.
Yeah.
But I asked you, because I knew what the answer was going to be, but I asked you, do you have any? And you're like, yeah, I think I do, Cherokee. And I'm like, yeah, you probably do, because of the orange in your eyes, which is That's a Native American trait. No other person has that.
And how would you tie in? You said something about the zodiac sign. How would you tie that into this as well?
When I vibe with someone, and not necessarily like on a man-woman level, but just when I talk and I'm like, this person's pretty cool, and I'll just ask out of the blue, or if they're not cool, because I know which signs are cool and not, and I'm sure someone could guess my sign, but I'll say, are you this or that? And they're 9 out of 10, that's what they are.
Yeah.
And then when they're kind of not cool, 9 out of 10, it's the two signs that I think that they are. Yeah, it's too good and too not so good, you know. And they, I don't believe it. I know you don't believe in it, but I didn't ask you that. I just asked you what your sign is.
Yeah.
You know, and then because when they get defensive, they already know, they've already heard that their sign is messed up. Yeah. You know, and people, I'm a Gemini, so they say, oh, you have two faces.
Yeah.
No, it's not one person, two faces. It's twins, two people, and I get the moody and the not, but you know, pretty jovial, pretty life of the party. And I was born year of the dragon, 64, I'll say it. Yeah, black don't crack.
Yeah.
So
just to be kind to some of the viewers, I don't want some of the people listening to think that if they do have a certain sign that they're not, because there is pros and cons, right?
Yeah, well, I didn't even mention a sign. You know, I just said there are signs that everybody
that for you, like, pertains to you that you vibe with, like
exactly. It's only an opinion, like buttholes. Everyone's got one.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's just that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
Some people don't believe in it, and that's cool. That's America. We're in America. You know, that's good.
Yeah, we have a whole bunch of beliefs, but but yeah, I appreciate you, Diana.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you mind if this goes on the internet at all? Or
no problem. Like shoot me over something. You know.
All right.
I'd like to see it, or actually, I'll look at it.
Yeah, 100%.
Decent interviewing skills. I like that.
Yeah.
All right. Good luck to you in your future.
I appreciate you.
Okay.
All right.
All right.